Connecting bridge to false chain.
Contracts, bridge your assets and make a gain. APR so high, so juicy. Footer look like Gary Busey. EMP flossing, tossing. 3650 with secret saucing.
Bridge, false chain, bridge, BSC. Transaction status success. 69 block confirmations. 420 UTC.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. This is our live AMA. Well, first of all, my name is AJ. I'm the team lead here. This is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We have a ton of incredible alpha to talk about today. We have some special guests. It's going to be a jam-packed episode. But before we get started, I want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you today?
Fucking fantastic.
I love it. Yes, I know.
I thought I'd drop that right from the beginning
Exactly.
to make everyone smile.
No doubt, LA. It's gonna be a doozy
I
today.
couldn't do it with a straight face though,
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a great one today, so buckle up, guys.
Awesome, good deal. So yes, and again, I'm so excited. I forgot my name at the beginning of the AMA. So this will be a good one. Again, the super duper mega alpha will be at the very end. It's pretty bullish in terms of EMP fusion and the ecosystem overall. But that will be again at the very end. Stay tuned. We try to keep it under an hour. And right around there, and then obviously as well at the end we'll have a Q&A. So if you'd like to ask questions live, you can join us on Telegram, or you can type in the live chat any questions that you have along the way, and we'll address them at the very end. But without further ado, we're going to open it up with some really special guests. And at the top of our agenda today is our GOAT token partnership. So if you haven't heard about this yet, you've been under a rock. We implemented our first official partner farm on Sparkswap, and that is Spark GOAT token. It is an incredible team, some OGs that I've known for a long time. Crypto Black Sheep and I and the DGen protocol go back at least 10 years. I mean, again, one of my first friends in crypto, and both of us have been building ever since. And yeah, I'm going to welcome him on now. We have Crypto Black Sheep and I believe Donnie as well, right?
Yeah, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, my friend. How are you?
I'm amazing, man. I just thanks for the warm welcome, warm intro. Yeah, it's actually been about 7 years, since I started the DGen protocol.
Okay.
Telegram, but yeah, it's been almost a decade. It's crazy, right?
Totally.
Like that's how long we've been. We've been really like just killing it, and we appreciate everything you do for us, man.
For sure, brother. Yeah, you guys have been long-term supporters again. Time flies when we're in crypto. I know. The DGen protocol has definitely been an OG in the space. 7 years, 10 years. What's a couple of years among crypto veterans, right? But yeah, man, no doubt. So I want to give you the floor. Again, and Donnie is here as well. But I guess let's just start off with the economics behind GOAT token, if you would. That'd be great.
Absolutely. I think Donnie can take this one away for sure.
Yeah,
Donnie,
for
where
sure.
you at?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Donnie D here.
What's
All
up,
right.
Donnie D?
What's going on, man? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, this is great. Sorry, you kind of caught me off guard. I was having a bit to nibble here.
Yeah, no worries, brother. Yeah.
Okay, so GOAT token. It is the latest production by DGen Protocol and the one which we have pushed out onto Pulse Chain. Basically, ever since we started looking into trying to create a token for DGen Protocol, we wanted to put it out on Pulse Chain. We kind of had to wait 2 years when we'd started looking, though, because obviously Pulse Chain wasn't built yet. But now that it's here, we've brought out GOAT token. So real quick, GOAT token is basically a single asset backed token, which is backed by W Pulse. It is an elastic supply token, which expands and reduces in circulating supply based on what users do and how they interact with the contract. GOAT token can be minted with W Pulse being deposited to the contract, and can also have W Pulse withdrawn from the contract by redeeming GOAT, which is to basically burn the tokens out of circulation at any time. Both of those actions which incur a 5% fee on the amount of W Pulse that is handled, right? The mint and redeem ratio is a unique factor of the GOAT token, which is determined by how much W Pulse is behind the rest of the token supply that still exists. And of course, the liquidity which helps to carry that upways is built up by those 5% fees of minting and redemption. The mint and redeem price is actually specially coded within the contract as well, so that it can only go up. The mint and redeem price never goes down, it can only go upways. Which is something that's very unique about how the contract works. What this also means is that GOAT token is a fully ERC20 compliant token. There is 0% transfer fees applied to the contract. So what this means is that if you're sending GOAT token to and from another wallet, or if you're doing DEX trading of buying and selling, there is 0% fees on that, right? So what this means is that there are two different price points, right? You have the mint and redeem price point, which is the first-party liquidity or single asset backing, and you have the third-party price, which might be a price that's established on a DEX, like our friends and partners here at Sparkswap, right? We currently have a Spark GOAT LP, which also has a farm here. Pardon me for a second. So yeah, we have the GOAT Spark LP, and basically the two different price points is something which people are able to arbitrage between, right? The price to mint or redeem might be higher than one of the DEX prices, so people could buy or on the DEX and redeem tokens for a profit of W Pulse, or vice versa. They could, if the mint or redeem price was lower than the DEX price, they could mint some fresh tokens with W Pulse, go and sell them on the DEX, and again, take home a profit. Either way, because of the way that the contract is coded, again, that single asset price only going upways means that GOAT token acts as a ratchet strap mechanism, carrying the price of its single asset liquidity and the third-party liquidity upways. In its very basis, it's a single asset backed token which is fully insulated from the effects of third-party manipulation, because even if a third-party market were to crash, there would still be the ability for every token of GOAT to be redeemed for W Pulse from within the contract itself, so everybody gets their value at the end of the day. Yeah, that's GOAT in a nutshell.
I love it, Donnie. Damn, bro, that was an amazing overview. Again, exactly what I was hoping for. You know, I know that may be a lot of information for a lot of you, but in a nutshell, you know, because of the 5% mint and 5% redeem fees, there's always more pulse backing the token price than the amount of tokens that there are, and therefore, you know, it always goes up. And we were excited to pair Spark with GOAT token because having that third-party liquidity, especially with Spark, as the price of GOAT goes up, that does help drag the price of Spark up with it. And now, I mean, we're crushing it. We have well over $50,000 of external LP on our own DEX now. And like Donnie said, there's an arbitrage opportunity with that. And so the volume, not only for our DEX, is amazing, but it's also really beneficial to have the volume of buys and sells on GOAT as well. So again, because of that ratio, it actually is healthy for the token price to have sellers as well, which is very counterintuitive. But that's why we're so bullish on GOAT for sure. So yeah, go ahead, Black Sheep. You want to add to that? Yeah.
Yeah, no, the great thing about it is like we've had a lot of we've probably had about redemptions. I mean, people made some profit. We had about like 800 million in redemptions this last couple of days. And the great thing about it is nobody got dumped on.
For sure.
Where are you going to find something where everybody can dump out like almost $1 billion PLS and nobody loses value? Like, it's so great, right? Like, your value either remains the same or goes up because of the ratio continues to climb. And, obviously we're back with PLS, so we have a little bit of a sway there. But, overall, nobody's lost anything. Like, I'm still up. Everybody's still up. They got in day one. And people are still up no matter, because it still goes up. It's just great. It's just great, man. I can't say enough good things about it. Like, I'm so happy about this project because we actually have something now that nobody can get wrecked on. Like completely wrecked, obliterated. You only have a 5% risk at any time. 5% the mint redeem, like that's it. And you can even go now we have deep liquidity pools, so you can even go on the liquidity pools and just buy it and wait for it to swing up and just sell it. Whatever. You can make money everywhere here. It's great.
For sure.
I'm so excited about Go Token. Like I've been in a lot of projects, and like I'm not just tooting my horn, but like I've been in a lot of projects, and it sucks when you get dumped on, man. If you were to buy any of those meme coins at the top, like you're still waiting like a month for it to come back, like if you just got into Go, you wouldn't have that problem because boom, it just keeps going up, and there's not much loss either way. It's very, very, very small amounts of risk. 5% is nothing. We've seen shit drop like 90% in one candle. So
totally, brother. Well, and again, it also it also rewards diamond handers because as long as you're willing to hold it to make up that potential 5%, then like you said, it's very, very minimal risk. So awesome, guys. Well, two more things I wanted to bring out. Again, I know we're both really busy and we have a huge AMA to get through today, but I wanted to hear a little bit more about the GOAT feeder. I know this is a super unique mechanism as well that is not only bullish for the participants, but bullish for the GOAT price. So go ahead. I'll have you guys explain what that is.
The GOAT feeder is the sleeper. It's a sleeper in itself. And yeah, Donnie, if you want to take it away, you're really good at this shit. I love it. Go ahead.
Cool as, man. Happy to do this. All right. So basically, the GOAT feeder is a specialized contract which we have forked and adapted from the futures contract, which some of you may recognize from EMP.Money. Basically, since we've been building the GOAT token ecosystem, it is definitely worth recognizing that we've had the advisory of Bank Teller sitting beside us at the board meetings and all, where we've been developing ideas. He's definitely helped us out with some of the design works here. But feeder is basically our adaptation of the futures idea, where basically people will deposit DAI and receive DAI at a rate of 0.5% daily, right? So you deposit 200 DAI minimum to get started, okay? And then basically you're earning 0.5% of your deposited balance daily, right? When you claim, your claim amount is subtracted from your current balance. And so, of course, then the amount that you're earning daily is still 0.5%, but it's off whatever that current balance is, right? So obviously, if you deposit in and you're just claiming out all the time and you don't compound at all, then your account will slow down and it will take you a long time to obviously, do any sort of major damage to the ecosystem. But when you play it properly, the way it's supposed to be played, right? You start with $200 deposited in, and you follow the strategy of 3 weeks compound, 1 week of claim, which is recommended by the EM folks themselves as well. Basically, you compound, which is a $200, another $200 deposit, and so your earning rate stays at that consistent 0.5%. But obviously, because there's more value in your current balance, then the amount that you're earning every day is going up as well. We also have a unique referral program available within the Goat Feeder, where if you set an upline, right, and you go to do a claim, then 1% of the claim value that you're taking is calculated, right? It's not subtracted from your claim, but it is calculated of that what that value is, and then it's broken in half between you and your referrer, right? Put into the section on our website on the Goat Feeder page, which you'll see is called pending rewards, right? You can only get those pending rewards by doing a compound on your account, right? One of the things which we've seen in a lot of ROI dApps and similar sort of referral program type things in the past is that the referral program is very taxing on otherwise inbound liquidity, or it has to come out of somewhere else to be able to be paid out. But what we're basically showing is that, yeah, you can have the benefit of your referral tree, but you're only going to be able to have that so long as the ecosystem is kept healthy, right? So we made it so that basically, yeah, if you want your referral rewards, you got to help us keep the system healthy. Otherwise, you know, it wouldn't be feasible to have that sort of a thing. Overall, the Goat Feeder is a brilliant cash flow solution where basically if you want to put money down in a safe location in a good, strong smart contract and know that you're going to have, you know, X amount of dollars per day because of that 0.5% daily rate coming in, right? Keep in mind that smart and safe strategy to play, that 21 days of compound, the 7 days of claiming, right? But if you need a good place to keep it and you like that 0.5% daily consistency, right, then Goat Feeder is for you. What's important to remember, and the key takeaway, is that Goat Feeder will ROI for you in 200 days without any compound or claim, right? But then you have 165 additional days of that 0.5%, which is why it's definitely encouraged that you play in the better, more responsible strategy of 21 and 7, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah, is there any questions I can take about it?
Yeah, no doubt. So we're getting questions coming in. Again, I'm happy to answer at the end as well. But yeah, I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more. Obviously, Goat Feeder is super powerful on its own, just as, you know, a passive income stream through DAI. But what also I get really excited about is it creates the ever needed volume on Goat as well. So Donnie, I guess just mention really quick about how liabilities are paid from Goat itself. And how,
yes.
Yeah, and how it really, you know, it incentivizes
Absolutely.
volume on Goat. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So basically, when you deposit DAI into the Goat Feeder, 90% of the DAI that comes in is turned into W Pulse, which is then used to mint Goat token that gets stored into a contract that we call the Goat Pen, right? That's basically just a nice place where all of the Goat token is kept safe for the ecosystem, right? The Goat Feeder is the only thing that's able to draw from that. So, yeah. Anyway, 90% gets turned into Goat. The other 10% goes into a contract that we call the buffer pool, right? Which just enables us to serve quick claims and withdrawals on the system in any given time. So what we do is that when we need more DAI in the buffer pool, right, because people are obviously going to be making some claims, is that we draw upon the Goat token that's in the Goat Pen, right, to buy more DAI token, which tops up the buffer pool. Now, you might be thinking at this stage, well, hold on a second, that's all great and well, but how does that grow the value? What you got to keep in mind is that single asset value increase of Goat token and how that works, right? Remember, with every mint and redeem of Goat token that happens, there is that 5% fee of the W Pulse amount, which is taken and held inside of that liquidity, right? That single asset backing, which means that while we mint at one particular ratio, that 200 days later when liabilities are due, that ratio is going to be much higher, right? So there's going to be a bunch more W Pulse behind those tokens. Thus, we'll have the ability to get the appropriate amount of DAI to continue those liability payouts, right? And so that's basically what we do with Goat Feeder. It's a very unique application, but like I said, it encourages people to stack their savings or stack their DAI into a smart contract, which, like I said, just delivers a very steady 0.5% daily. And it uses, I think the most important thing about it is that it uses GOAT token at its core. It literally demonstrates to people, hey, this is what happens when volume is placed on the minting and redemption of GOAT token. So,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, brother. That was a great overview. And again, that's just another explanation of why we're so bullish. So go ahead, Sheep. Yeah.
Yeah. Something I want to add is I just did the math, and we're gonna have it on the page here soon. Donnie's gonna code it, but we're right now sitting at a week in, we're already $20,000 over on liabilities in the feeder. So we already have $20,000 over the $87,000 that's been deposited. So we're already in the profit. We're already in the green, right? And that's a great thing about Pulse is going to do some massive moves. We know it. We know it. We feel it in our hearts, and that's why we're on Pulse Chain, right? Pulse Chain is going to do some shit that people just don't understand. I mean, I've seen it with Hex. I've seen it time and time again. There's it's written in the stars. Is what I'm saying. It's great. It's beautiful, and we're just gonna keep crushing it. We're just gonna keep crushing it because we knock off a 0 on Pulse, dude. We're paid off for years. We knock out 2 zeros. We're gonna be talking about GOAT token in the feeder for a good decade. Another 6-7 years, easy. And I'm not even the math is there. It's just it is what it is. And our main goal in this thing, we can manage this all the way up, right? So we can manage this thing to the point that if at some point the liabilities seem to be maybe tipping the scale, or maybe we just want to make sure that this is the first ROI contract that everybody's going to get paid out. They're not going to lose a dime. Everybody's going to win. Okay, and we can easily do that at any point. We can just cash out the what's in the GOAT pen. Boom, cash it out. Put it in the buffer pool, and boom, everybody gets paid out. Nobody loses, and that's what we're going for here. We're already 20,000 ahead. Imagine what's going to happen when we knock off a couple of zeros. We're going to be so far ahead, it's going to be ridiculous. The feeder is the sleeper contract, guys. I'm telling you. And that's all I had to add. I love you, AJ. Thank you so much. And Donnie, you're a badass, and keep doing what you do.
Right on, Black Sheep. Love you too, brother. Yeah, hell yeah. And that really was the overall, gist of what I wanted to get across. I know, I'm not the best live streamer, so we didn't have the website up, but there's a ton of great videos and coverage. I guess before you guys go, and then we have a little bit of alpha I want to drop right at the end, Donnie, on something you've been working on. But yeah, but before we get to that, what is your socials, Sheep? Where can people follow? What? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You can get us at obviously our main website is degenprotocol.io. We have socials in there too, but we're at on Telegram degen_protocol, and we have Twitter at degen_protocol. I had to add a second one because somebody stole the one that I wanted, but we try to keep it simple. Degen_protocol on Telegram, and Degen_protocol on Twitter. And please don't join any. We've already had scammers out there. They're creating scam groups. They're trying to pretend to be us in the we're always in the VC. So we're always in the VC in the Degen_protocol Telegram. Please don't get scammed. We are the only group. We've been here for 6 years. As in December will be officially 6 years in the making at the Degen Protocol. I've been in 7 years myself. I'm sure you guys are probably, some of you guys are class of 2017, 16, 14, whatever you are. We're here now, and just know that we're here for you guys, and we're not going to scam you. And just be careful, man, because it just sucks because we had somebody get ripped off yesterday, and I have to make this aware. Please, if it's not Crypto Black Sheep or Donnie in the VC in the Degen Protocol Telegram, it's not us. Okay, if they're DMing you, please do not get scammed. We just had somebody lose a bunch of money yesterday. It just sucks. I hate hearing people say that, and we're trying to keep our community safe and all that. But we are here for you all day long in the voice chat, and we will be here for you. And dude, thank you so much. This is just an amazing opportunity to be.
I have a quick question before you guys run off.
Yeah, totally. And then Donnie,
what's up, Ellen?
Add with some alpha. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted one more question about the goat feeder before we
Sure.
merge from that topic. I may have missed it, or we may just not have covered that point, but is it a locked contract, or is there a specific amount of time that you have to lock in for? I know that you said it
Right.
takes 200 days to ROI, but how long do you have to stake for?
Right. So Goat Feeder is a locked contract, I suppose you could say. There's no specific time frame that you can choose, really. What's important to remember is that when you get into the Goat Feeder, you're basically engaging in a cash flow of 0.5% per day for an entire year, right? So you've got that 200 days to ROI, and then you've got an additional 165 days of that same 0.5% daily cash flow, right? I guess the time frame is sort of restarted in a way when you compound, right? Because you're doing a fresh deposit, which is obviously, bigger balance, updated calculations and all. But yeah, realistically, there's no time frame you can choose. You just get in and compound or claim as you so choose.
Perfect. I just wanted that to be on the recording so that everyone could kind of be clear on that.
Yeah. The great thing about it is there's no time, there's no locks. You know how you go into the, I'm not talking down on the like the detonator or anything like that, where you have to be there at a certain time every day to withdraw. You can let it build up. If you have a life, you can live your life. And that's what we don't want to restrict anybody around here from their daily lives, because like obviously I'm stuck on the computer all day because I'm just all I do is just promote DJ Protocol and Goat Token. But everybody else has a life. If they have to live a day job, they have to work there. They got kids, whatever. I don't want people to be stuck on having to come to the DApp every day to redeem the rewards. They can just let it sit, forget it, set it and forget it, and you can come at any time. You can withdraw. You can compound if you want to. And you can. It's very flexible. It's very flexible. That's what I love about the Goat Feeder and what we've got here. It's amazing. And it gives you so much flexibility to just live your life. And yes, you have extra money on top of it, right? On top of whatever you're doing your day, if you're working a day job or whatever. I've been there, done that, and I feel for people that just don't have much time to commit to something. They just want to put their money in, let the money work, and that's it. And that's what we're all about, man. We want freedom, and more freedom. That's it.
No
But
doubt.
anyway,
Yeah,
like-
no, 100%.
stuff.
Yeah, totally. So, all right, guys. Well, one last bit of alpha again, and then we're
here we
gonna
go.
get on to the rest of the show today. But Donnie, a little bird told me that you're working on maybe an auto compounding contract. You want to drop a little alpha on that, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's actually something really cool that I started throwing together over the last 24 hours. I went and I grabbed some code which people have probably seen out there in the world before, but I have put together a strategy and an auto compounding vault contract that suits the Goat Spark LP and farm on Sparkswap. So where you go and stake your Goat Spark LP to earn that Spark token, instead of staking it on your own, you'll be able to come to our website and stake that LP in one big vault contract with the rest of everyone else, right? And basically auto compound those rewards into more LP tokens.
I love
right?
it.
Which obviously means that you then auto compound, and that rate's going up. So I can share my screen if you guys want to see a preview of the UI. I've actually been designing that this morning.
Yeah, if you have it, let me try to pull up. If you can do it on Telegram, and I'll pull it up on YouTube. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
There we go. So I still have to make the buttons work and everything, but this is basically what we're looking at here. We have the Degen Goat Spark LP Vault. So right here at the top, you'll have your V Goat Spark LP that shows. So we're actually going to change that to Goat Spark LP to show how many LP tokens you have, just underneath the heading here. But then, you have your stake LP and unstake LP buttons and boxes. Right, you can do a max stake, max unstake, of course, as well. This one here will be an approve button when you first see the page, so you can obviously approve the vault to spend your LP tokens. But then you can also revoke that at any time as well. Responsible permission management is something that we do want to promote out there. And then we've got a button over here, which is the work button, and I'll explain that one very shortly as well. So
Amazing.
beneath the two main boxes, we have the zap in and zap out contract as well, which I'm in the middle of crafting. Basically, this will allow you to take PLS, which is in your wallet, and zap it directly into Goat Spark LP, ready for you to come up here and stake into the vault. And the same goes here as well. Once you've unstaked your LP, you can zap out straight to PLS without having to do the multiple transactions of remove LP and then swap 2 tokens to Pulse and whatever else. You can just do it in one quick movement, just like that. Some vault stats down the bottom. Once that's designed, will look a little bit nicer than that. But that's the overall essence. Now, finally, before I finish up and hand the mic back to AJ, this work button here is probably the coolest feature, I think, because within the strategy contract, which I have crafted, particularly for this pool, right, is when the Spark token is harvested as part of the strategy, the Spark token is swapped for W Pulse, right, in order to prepare it to turn it into more LP tokens, right, for Goat Spark LP, right? So the part that is turned into W Pulse, right, 5% of that W Pulse that results goes to whatever calls that work button, right? So that'll be our Autocompounder mechanic that runs in the background, and chronologically, it'll compound like on time every 24 hours. But if you or anyone else out there that's in the vault wanted to compound the vault for everyone and, you know, make that process run, there's a little bounty that's attached to the work button that allows you to do that. And you can compound the vault as frequently as you like. You can get in this vault knowing and relying on the fact that you know it's going to be compounded at least once every 24 hours, but you could always make it happen more than that if you wanted to. And so, yeah, that's basically the Degen protocol auto compounding vault. At the moment, only compatible with Goat Spark, but that is one of the things which we would like to bring in a much greater sized offering in the future.
I love it, man. Absolutely, Donnie. And again, bro, for those who don't know, Donnie is a hell of a developer, you know, building all this from the ground up. And yeah, I mean, obviously, the power of auto vaults, all of you know that through EMP and everything that we've talked about for, you know, 2 years now. And the other really cool thing is typically auto vaults can be a bit dangerous if you're just taking all the rewards and selling them every day. But because we are, the LP is actually Spark, those rewards, again, are going back to buying Spark and Goat. So it is a lot more beneficial economically than just, you know, an outside vault that's just, you know, selling all the rewards every single day. And we have a lot of really cool things in the works. Again, I don't want to drop too much alpha, but I know a lot of people have been asking for an auto compounder for Sparkler as well. So we're going to be working with, you know, Donnie and, you know, some of our other internal devs on trying to make that happen. So, yeah, man.
That sounds so fun.
I know, brother. It's awesome stuff, man. So, yeah, bro. Well, again, that was everything I wanted to cover. You guys have any final words before we bid you adieu and get on with the rest of the show?
Yeah,
look, honestly, that's
all I gotta
it.
say
Yeah.
is I love you, man. I love you, and thank you so much for everything you do, AJ. You're
Right
amazing.
on, Black
And
Sheep. Thank
LA,
you, brother.
she's amazing. You guys, your whole team is amazing. You guys just keep getting it, just keep killing it, just like we do. We just shove it down their throats every day, man. What are they gonna do when they, you know, if you can't beat them, join them eventually. That's
Totally,
what's gonna
brother.
happen.
Yeah.
So, I love
Awesome, guys. All right,
That's
awesome.
exactly right, bro.
Yep, and thank you, Donnie, for everything. Black
Thanks,
Sheep.
guys.
Yep, awesome, guys. All right, and everybody too. If you have any other questions, we'll get to them at the end. And if I can't answer them or not comfortable answering it, again, please join all the socials for the DGen protocol. Again, the token itself is under the DGen protocol umbrella, so that's why you'll find a goat sub channel inside DGen protocol. So, all right, guys, thanks again, everybody. We will see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day, guys.
All right, you too, brother. All right, thanks, guys. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The team from Goat Token, again, we're super bullish on that. And, you know, please, again, do your own research. But the way that the up token economics work, as long as you're bullish on Pulse, which I think we all are, it's very, very little risk, and it can do some massive gains over the next, few years. So, all right, awesome. LA, well, that was great. We're already half an hour in. We have a lot more to go over again. Today might be a little bit of a longer one, but we'll do our best to get to the point here. But we have a lot more updates on Sparkswap as well. So, yeah, go ahead,
An
LA.
exciting show today.
Yeah, totally. So, was there anything you wanted to go over before we jump into the meat and potatoes, so to speak? Yeah.
I think we were just gonna do a little comment on the market. Everything's kind of been looking really strong right now with the market in general. So I don't know if you want to comment on that at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, we've seen October play out. I think I looked at some charts today. Bitcoin's up like 23% over the last 2 weeks, which is just absolutely insane. There's so much bullish news coming out. Again, I think a lot of it's spurred with the ETF. Again, BlackRock is hoping for approval. They've already seeded they're starting to seed the ETF. Again, there has to be assets in an ETF for people to buy. So we've seen a lot of movement in that direction. Typically in November, there is a bit of a pullback. I know, obviously, as much as we love, the charts to go up and to the right forever, there is still some volatility, and typically the true bull run, again, just historically speaking, happens around this time after the halving. So it would be a year from today that we would see some true, new all-time highs. But that being said, I definitely think that we're in the beginnings of a bull run. I think that's, really promising. Again, there should be some volatility along the way, but I really don't think we're going to see, sub 20,000 Bitcoin ever again. And that's super, super exciting for the future. So yeah, and again, the markets overall, typically, again, just historically speaking, we see Bitcoin really obtain a lot of dominance. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance over 50%, which means again all the market cap volume is in Bitcoin rather than the altcoins or any of the blue chips. But once we see Bitcoin start to level out, all of that profit flows back into blue chips and then ultimately alt tokens. So again, although Bitcoin's having its day in the sunlight, so to speak, or fame, well, eventually we see that profit trickle back down. So again, I'm more bullish than ever. All of us are here for the long run, and as long as you don't have a short-term mindset, and you're looking, years in the future, there is literally nothing that is FUD worthy about what is happening in crypto overall. So yeah, those are just my personal thoughts. Again, not financial advice, just some OG crypto wisdom. But LA, yeah, does anything you want to add to that, or anything you want me to go into further before we jump into Sparkswap?
I'm ready for Sparkswap.
All right, awesome. So, Pulse has been really pumping on and off the last few days. I think we went from about almost a double, almost 100% gain from the bottom to where we are now. It's pulled back a little bit today. But again, not only everything we talked about over the last half an hour with the GOAT token and having exposure to Pulse, but even Spark itself has literally, over, again, I don't look at the chart every day, so I might be out, but over $1.5 million of liquidity on Spark alone. And that is also directly tied to Pulse. So what happens is, when the price of Pulse goes up, it drags the price of Spark up with it. And if you actually overlay the PLS chart with the Spark chart, they are very, very similar. So that just goes to show that, yeah, obviously we have whales that dump and affect the price short term, but as long as you're bullish on Pulse, and going into the next bull season, we could absolutely see new all-time highs on the Spark price, just because of Pulse. And again, that's not financial advice. And we've said it many times that the real value is in the yield that Spark generates, not the price of Spark going up. But and with that, we have some super bullish news on Sparkler as well. But does that make sense, LA? You want to comment on that at all? Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we're literally nearly 9 weeks in, and we still have, I mean, you'll see when we talk about stats later, but I mean, the APRs that we're still earning are so bullish. And I've personally never been part of a protocol with APRs that have stayed this strong this long. So that just goes to show you how strong of a protocol we've built here.
Yeah, no, 100% LA. So, and again, we're busy behind the scenes every single day, working on not only, the longevity of the protocol, different ideas. We have, daily developer meetings on what's coming, for the ecosystem overall. But more importantly, in the short term, we are really trying to scale the bridge. So, over the last few days, the bridge has been live. It's been a massive revenue stream for Sparkler. And that's all the while using EMP as the bridgeable token. And so a lot of people don't know what EMP is, or, they don't trust us, or I should say they don't know us enough to trust us buying, some ancillary token. And we did this on purpose, not only to prove, have a proof of concept that the bridge is working the way it should be, but also to give people an opportunity to earn, bridging their EMP over to the Sparkswap farm. But now we're transitioning into a stable token option. So I know that we had said, that the priorities were EMP, ESHARE, and then some sort of either ETH or stable token equivalent. And so now we're prioritizing that ahead of everything else, because we really feel like we can gain an insane amount of market share. Even over the first 3 days, it was about $400,000 of volume on the bridge. I haven't done the math today, but I'm assuming at least another 50 grand or so in volume. And so that could double or triple with a stable token option, because we would be literally the best solution on the market. And right now, again, there is that the Ethereum bridge where you can bridge ETH or USDC or any main blue chips. But not only does it take almost an hour to bridge, but you're paying these high gas fees, and that is absolutely exacerbated with the market pumping. So, as the price of ETH goes up, you're paying even more and more in gas fees, not to mention the network congestion that goes with it. And if you can bridge, even, BSC, obviously, once you're on BSC, you can bridge yet again to any other chain. But I know a lot of us are on BSC. I know a lot of DeFi happens on BSC rather than ETH, because of those fees. And so again, when we have a stable token option with deep liquidity, where you're not going to get hit with price impact, and you can bridge in a matter of seconds, again, our bridge is still averaging under 1 minute for transactions. There is absolutely no reason that you would want to use the main Ethereum bridge to Pulse, um, to accomplish the same thing. So again, we have a perfect product market fit, and we hope that that will even further incentivize people using our platform. And obviously, the vast majority of those fees will feed Sparkler even more. So we can't give a time frame. Again, we're hoping ASAP. There are a lot of things that have to be done. We've discussed our arbitrage bots. Those will be implemented on the new pair as well as making sure there's a plenty of liquidity, because when we scale the way that we want to, we need to have multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars in liquidity. And we have to make sure we roll it out the right way. So that's an update on the bridge. And yeah, Ella, anything you want to add to that? And then I'd love for you to go into the next topic, Ella. You've done all the math, so I don't want to steal your thunder. So yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I wanted to add to that is this is just part of the rollout plan. The reason why we did it this way is because we did also want to initially kind of scale the volume a little bit. Initially doing it this way with EMP first was a way to ensure that, we first introduced it to our own community, and then we started to do the AMA train. So we expand outwards from there. And then the next step is we introduce a stable, which is going to be more widely accepted. So we're going to increase the volume from there. And it kind of comes in stages, as opposed to us introducing it as a stable right off the bat. And we may get way more volume than we were ready for right at the beginning. But this has given us a chance to introduce it in a more staged process so we could make sure we're ready for that volume. So that was kind of a really important thing to note. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great point, Ella. Yeah, we didn't want to have the fire hose on where everybody's rushing to the bridge, and then we get congested, and transactions fail, and even if transactions do fail, which we've had a few of them, you're automatically refunded within an hour. So there is no risk there. But to Ella's point, it was done in a very methodical way that we can kind of battle test the bridge as we continue to scale. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, so this next point I'm very excited for. I literally sat by the computer and set about 10 different alarms today to try and time it properly. So I got it down to the exact moment I could screenshot it and do the math for you guys. But as you know, I've mentioned a few times, I started a new Sparkler stake right as the bridge launched, and 10 full days had passed as of about, 2 p.m. or something this afternoon. And so in the first 10 days since the bridge launched, our average daily APR on max stakes is 0.985% daily. And I was so excited when I saw that. I mean, nearly 1% still, 8.5 weeks in is pretty damn great. It's now surpassing the APR in the farm. And as we've said all along, it is the secret sauce. AJ is going to go into this part next, but we haven't even added the fees from the Arbitrage Bot yet. And so that's not even accounted for in that. So I'll let him go into that part.
Totally, no doubt. So when LA showed me this, I was again that same bullish sentiment, and it just goes to show. I mean, we can come on the AMA twice a week. We can explain all of this to all of you every day or whatever, even if we did AMAs every day. But the point is that you cannot argue with the math. The math is actually, unfuddable. I know I said that word a few weeks ago. It's my new favorite word. But you cannot fud the results. And again, even to this day, we get people that say, this is just your typical inflationary token. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go to zero. All the haters that have no idea how powerful Sparkler really is. And if you're not in Sparkler, you are doing yourself a disservice, and that's not us trying to manipulate you or have some smoke and mirrors of what's best for the protocol. Even though going into Sparkler is what's best for the protocol, that's by design. It's not only best for the protocol, but it's also best for you. And based on that average of 1% daily, and again, that might go down, it might go up, again, the more fees that we generate, that number could even go up. But the idea is that it is still a variable APR, but when you sell your Spark on the market, you're gaining that immediate value. But if you're putting your Spark in Sparkler, again, the maximum stake is also important because you're getting a 400% bonus on your shares, and your shares determine the amount of rewards that you get. So you are essentially burning your Spark. But again, even people that entered 2 or 3 weeks into the protocol, that was another thing we see from some haters. They say, well, it was only good APR and Sparkler if you got in early. Well, that is complete bullshit because even people that were in, 3 weeks into the protocol, they have already more than doubled. So a 200% ROI on their stakes. And so again, you're making double what you would have made had you just sold the Spark outright. And so, and now you have again 10 years or 9 years and whatever 50 weeks ahead of you to continue to earn. So again, if you can't understand that, I don't know what more we can do to help, but I know all the Spark money has been, incredibly bullish over Sparkler, and I know some even bigger brain MFers that we like to call in the group have really started to gain 1% ownership of Sparkler. I think that's an amazing goal to set for yourself. I know obviously a lot of you may not have the capital to do that, but a lot of the big brain guys and gals have done enough to stake in Sparkler to gain 1%, and then they use the farms to keep continually feeding their Sparkler to maintain that 1% ownership. And again, the more that we generate in fees, the more that will pay out. So, all right, sorry, I didn't want to go off on tangent, but I think it was really important that we discuss that. And yeah, to LA's point, we haven't even added the earnings from the arbitrage bot yet. So we're running an arbitrage bot. We have been on the EMP ETH LP, not only to keep parity between the price on BSC and the price on Pulse, but also as a revenue stream. So again, we're not ready to disclose the amounts, but it's been way more than I had originally thought it would be. And the only reason that we haven't distributed those rewards yet is because we need to build up enough of a buffer that the LPs or that the arbitrage bot is able to manage the LP swings without having to monitor it 24/7. So we seeded those bots with EMP and ETH. We've done so much volume. Even in the first day, the arbitrage bots were drained. So we have to continually add funds to be able to manage it. And now the revenue that is generating is enough to kind of buffer any swings that we would have. So hopefully by next week. Again, I'm not putting any dates where we'll say ASAP. Once we see that the arbitrage bot is able to, maintain parity with the amount of liquidity that's inside of it, then we can start distributing everything above and beyond that into Sparkler. So does that make sense, LA? I don't know if you want to simplify that a little more, but yeah.
No, you said it perfectly. Once those are able to be at balance and we have enough of a surplus, then we can start distributing some of those rewards when everything is stable and able to be maintained.
Yeah, 100%. Well, all right, awesome. And again, LA, maybe I'm gonna have you touch on this too. Give me a break for a sec. I feel like we've been going nonstop. We're not even halfway through here, so it's gonna be a long one tonight. But the AMA
Yeah, for
train,
sure.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, choo choo.
Yeah, I love it.
So we have been solid on the AMA train for a week straight. We started last Thursday with Dow King. And we have been on with a bunch of great ones. We were on with James Pelton, with Coach X. We were in with the DeFi Dojo. We were on yesterday with Crypto Activator. We were on with Crypto Pride. We were on with a bunch of amazing people. And we have an exciting week still coming next week. So the AMA train is going to keep on rolling. Yeah, it's been really solid. We've been getting the word out about the bridge. We've been getting the word out about the Treasury Bond NFTs and just about Sparkswap in general, because we've been in a couple new spaces like the DeFi Dojo. We really loved them so much. They were just such a great crew of people. So happy to have connected with them. I was keeping an eye on them for a while, and I'm glad to have finally reached out to them because they were awesome. But yeah, we were kind of, with the ones that we've been on with before, we're kind of picking up where we left off and giving them kind of a lowdown on where we've been since we left off. And on the new ones, we were kind of giving them an intro to EMP and Sparkswap and letting them know what we're up to with everything. And it's been really, really lots of great feedback, great turnouts, great questions. So we've had a really positive experience so far, and we're ready to keep going.
Yeah, no, I love it, LA, for sure. And so, on top of that as well, we're gonna continue the AMA train. I mean, you got a not only did you get an F-bomb, but you got a choo-choo from LA today. So, that's as bullish as it gets. But again, there's a lot in the works. We have even more things that we're discussing in terms of next year and in-person events. I know a lot of you have been asking for that. So. We're only just getting started on the marketing side. We are one of the protocols where you don't ever have to ask when marketing, right, LA? Yeah.
Oh, AJ just dropped some breadcrumbs of some alpha
I
right
love
there.
it. Yes, there you go. Yes,
I
I've
was
said too
on the
much.
phone with AJ last night, organizing some major bullish stuff for the near future. So
Totally.
I'm sure we'll have some news for you on that once that fully develops.
Yeah, no doubt. I couldn't help myself, LA. This is gonna be the mega ultra super duper alpha AMA on all fronts. So, all right, cool. So, all right, we went over this a little bit, so I'm gonna go over it quickly. Again, for the sake of time, I appreciate all of you tuning in. And one more thing too, before we keep going, please make sure to smash the like button, and leave a comment. That really helps our engagement. And I'm very, very appreciative of all of you showing up. Even if you're listening to this on a recording, this is how you invest in your investment and stay in the loop. I know even some OG members, tend to go away and not pay attention, and it's really frustrating when we're doing so much to make our protocol successful and people just don't pay attention. So, much love to all of you for being here. So, all right, new Spark Goat LP. Again, we talked about this at the top of the show. The Goat token is based on the UP token economic model. This means that mathematically, the token can only appreciate in value, and it's fully collateralized with actual PLS. So, again, we went over that in detail. Just some other key points. A lot of you that have been making Goat Spark LP have had some issues. Just remember that when you're going to provide liquidity to earn on top of what you're already earning, just with the natural price appreciation of Goat, you need to do it on V2. So EMP ETH and Goat Spark, those two LP pairs are on the swap and liquidity version 2. Again, you can find that at the top of the website when you go to the exchange tab. And V2 is our own liquidity pair. So Sparkswap is now an actual decentralized exchange, and we've submitted to DEX Screener as well to be updated, and DeFi Llama to be classified as an actual DEX. And this is really massive moving forward because we're able to operate as an actual decentralized exchange. So and it's super bullish too for fees. So again, having our own LP, we are able to collect all the swap fees and feed Sparkler with those as well. Again, We don't, take a dev fee. Everything in the protocol, other than a few half of percentages, go to Sparkler. Not our wallet. So, all right, and just again, one more thing. Remember when bridging over your EMP as well, because I know a lot of people have been bridging over EMP to get into EMP ETH or that Spark Goat pair. You really if you wanted to turn your EMP into Pulse, you must first swap the EMP to ETH in V2. So again, I know it's a bit confusing. As we continue to develop out, it'll be a lot less confusing. But because we're in a transitionary period, it's important that you know the proper steps and don't get killed on price impact. So if you're trying to do a swap and you're getting a warning or you're getting a major price impact, that probably means that you're on the wrong version. So don't push it through. Make sure you're doing it in the right way. And again, if you're selling your EMP, make sure you're selling it to ETH on V2 first, and then you can buy whatever other token you want with that ETH in V1. So V1 is for all the other tokens in the ecosystem. V2 is for EMP ETH and Spark Goat. So does that help, LA? I know it's a bit confusing, but we're trying to make it as simple as possible.
For sure. I think so. If not, let us know in the comments and we can go into it further.
Okay, perfect. And a few more points here, and then we'll move on. Just also remember that, for those of you that are already in EMP, that, you're not bridging your existing EMP over and then selling it, or if you're bridging over your EMP and then swapping half of that for ETH, that is a major sell, on EMP. The idea is that you are buying the equivalent amount of EMP, then selling that. So again, just to give you an example, if you already own EMP on BSC, say you had $1,000 worth of EMP, rather than bridging over that $1,000 and then selling it outright or selling half of it to get into LP, you would need to buy an additional, 500 or 1,000 or whatever the number is, buy that fresh on the BSC side, and then bridge that over and then sell, what you just bought. So that is the goal. And again, I mean, on top of all that, it really is a disservice to yourself. If you were going to sell EMP, you would have already done it on Binance. So if you're doing it now, not only are you selling the bottom, but now you would potentially have to buy more EMP at a higher price, a few months from now, when you want to bridge back over to Fusion. So remember, all of this is leading up to the Fusion sacrifice, and you'll have to bridge it back over, which is more volume for the bridge, more fees, so keep all of that in mind. When you're making your decisions, and who knows, maybe when everybody pulls out of the Spark, I'm sorry, the EMP ETH farm on Spark, that the APR could be insane over there, where you would, maybe keep a side bag to farm even when Fusion happens. So there's a ton of game theory. Again, we're not here to tell you what the right answer is. That's for all of you to decide. But the way that the economics play with each other across platforms is, again, not to toot our own horn, but it's next level shit. I mean, we are doing this on purpose to help, everybody's bags and provide more and more opportunity and use case for all of our tokens. So, LA, you want to add to that? Again, I know you have a much better way of simplifying things. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that in your head you might be saying, "Oh, well, I'll just temporarily do it and then I'll swap it back on the way back over." But what you don't realize is that someone else is looking at the chart and they see EMP going down And some people are emotional and they'll say, oh shit, well, EMP is going down. I guess I better sell mine too. And while you didn't actually intend on selling because you were just splitting yours in half to temporarily go in the farm while you're waiting for fusion, you may have just caused 10 other people to sell theirs and not come back. So you just never know the how your actions are affecting others. And so the whole point of this was to actually help EMP get stronger. So while giving us all an opportunity to earn while we wait for fusion. And so it's important that we all make decisions that are healthy for the ecosystem while we have that new earning opportunity.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even again, that's the other push for our stable token option, is that people that have no idea about EMP or, our ecosystems, it doesn't matter. They just have to buy this stable token, bridge that. Buy and selling has no effect on the protocol whatsoever. It's just purely volume. So that's why, again, we're really excited to roll that out ASAP. And then one more topic on Sparkswap, and then we'll get into some more alpha. Again, thank you all for being here. We have again an amazing super duper mega alpha at the very end for those that stick it through the whole way. So all right, eShare is also a priority. I know there's been a lot of chatter about eShare. Yes, eShare is what I feel is all-time lows. It is all-time lows and really a lot lower floor than we all had hoped for. But you have to understand, eShare is a very low supply token, and there's been a ton of things that will directly result in a much healthier price of eShare once Fusion launches. So we went over that in depth in a previous AMA, but the long story short is there will be massive buying pressure on eShare behind the scenes when Fusion goes live because that is the only transactable token in the new Fusion ecosystem. So I think a lot of people are still sleeping on eShare. It is our number one priority to continue to add utility and use case for eShare. Again, we just have to get there. And eShare is also on a halving model, just like Bitcoin. So every year and moving forward, the supply of eShare is reduced by half. And even in the next 5 years, there will be way less than 100,000 total eShare in existence, and that is incredibly low in terms of total supply. Again, 100,000 tokens. When we see the volume on Fusion that we anticipate, there will not be a lot of floating eShare in the ecosystem, and that again usually leads to a higher price. So and liquidity is purposely low on eShare right now. Again, just to try to mitigate the dumping that we have seen. But once we're able to start building deep liquidity on eShare again, and again, all the other mechanisms that we have in place, I think eShare will be a great, long-term play. Again, not financial advice, but it is a priority. And on top of all that, we're going to be adding an eShare farm, or maybe even just a single asset eShare pool. Again, we'll make that announcement when we get to that. But you will be able to earn on your eShare in Sparkswap as well. We just have to get there. And yeah, hopefully as well as again allowing you to bridge it over. And we even also had discussed e-bonds as well. So there's a ton. Again, we can only do so much in the 24 hours of the day. We work the majority of those hours. It feels like we're nonstop, but we will get to it eventually. So yeah, again, LA, anything you want to add?
No, I thought you said that absolutely perfectly, so I'm not sure what else I would add to that.
All right, awesome. So, all right, now we're going to get into Treasury Bond, NFTs. Again, bear with us, it's going to be a long one. A lot of you have already, taken advantage of these NFTs. I guess LA, you want me to just jump right in, or you want to give a brief overview and then I can follow up, or how you want to go about this one?
However you think.
All right. So why don't you give a quick overview? Again, you do such a great job of doing that, and then I'll kind of get into the details.
All right. So we're offering these treasury bond NFTs as a way to absolutely supercharge the ecosystem. Do we need a loan? Absolutely not. Is it a way to take our goals and reach them much sooner in a way that the entire community would celebrate and be very satisfied? Yes. And so we're offering these NFTs for $250 each. They are minting until the end of the month, so October 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They earn 60% APR over a period of 12 months. And so you put USDC in and you will receive USDC out. The way that it works is you mint your NFTs and then 12 months later you redeem them for principal plus interest. And so you mint your NFT prior to the 31st end of day. And then in 12 months from now, on November 1st, 2024, you'll redeem them for $400 a piece. So that's $250 principal plus your interest. And there will be a secondary market in which you can sell them prior to 12 months. And the way that that will work is you will be able to sell them for principal plus whatever interest you've earned up until that moment that you're selling them, minus a small fee that goes to the treasury. I will leave the specifics of how we're earning the APR and the guarantee and all that kind of stuff to you, AJ, but that's kind of a basis for it.
Yeah, no, that was great, LA. Again, you're so awesome at summing it up simply. I sometimes get in the weeds. I just can't help myself but go into every little detail. So, but I know that can be confusing. So anyway, these are super powerful. I have the picture up of the bond. Again, I wouldn't put my face on something that I wasn't 100% confident in. I've said that on almost every AMA now. We take things very seriously here, and this is something that we've wanted to do for a long time, but never, not didn't want to do it prematurely. So with that, we've had an incredible due diligence period on making sure that our treasury was healthy, making sure that we had actual revenue streams coming into the protocol, and essentially guaranteeing, again, we do use that word guarantee on purpose, which is a very rare thing in crypto, especially, because even if we weren't able to yield any additional revenue, we have the assets to be able to pay, these treasury bonds out at the end of the year, again, a year from November 1st. So that is all part of the plan. Again, the vast majority, well, first of all, these are a fixed interest loan to the protocol. So we're not managing anybody's funds. There are no SEC laws or any kind of regulations on fixed interest loans. And that was another major reason why we structured it this way. Again, just making that perfectly clear. If you don't believe that EMP will be able to pay the loan back, then don't buy these NFTs. But we've done everything we can to ensure that, and we have a track record to prove it. Again, we did a very similar arrangement with Ethereum in and Ethereum out using EMP to yield, and we paid the entire obligation of that ETH while ETH went down by literally half, if not more, in that same time frame. So we're not strangers to the seriousness of this sort of an offer, and we will deliver on it. So what we are doing is a large portion of the yield is from a partner project called TradeYield. It is an institutional registered trading fund. They only cater towards institutional investors, and typically you have to have a minimum of $250,000 to be able to participate in their fund. It is all regulated. They do NAV reports. It's all by the book. And the lead trader, Brian, is a personal friend of mine. And even that being said, though, we've been approached by 100 different people saying, yeah, they're traders or they do AI bots, and 99% of all those are Ponzi's and flat out scams. So we made sure that we did a ton of due diligence, and we did it through a 5-tier system where in the very beginning, Brian had to submit all of his own data and actual trade reports that provided evidence that he was able to do what he said he was doing. After that, I got involved with my own funds. Again, if anybody's going to lose money, I want it to be me first, not our community. So that went well after a month. And all this was earlier this year, around April timeframe. And so after that, we opened it up to some other, accredited VIP members that went in and they had great results, as well as our own treasury. Again, we had amazing results of our own treasury funds as well, almost doubling, well, more than doubling what we had. So that was super bullish. And then, all the while, we really never wanted to open it up to the public without having a clear plan and a way to, again, guarantee the return. So we came up with this NFT structure that is a fixed, again, 60% APR, and does not allow you to hyper compound like a lot of other protocols do. The hyper compounding can be extremely detrimental to the fund over a long period of time, where a compounded APR turns into hundreds of percent APR rather than the 60. And even with that though, 60% APR or 5% monthly on a stable token is absolutely incredible, and we really are industry leading, or at least at the top when it comes to those returns. I mean, even an ETH validator node, you're lucky if you're getting 5% a year, providing liquidity to some of the bridges. There's a lot more risk with that, and you're still only getting 10 or 12 percent APR. So this is massive, and it also helps us because the ideas that we're making, above and beyond that 5% monthly, and we're able to keep the spread, and that goes right into EMP Fusion and other parts of our ecosystem as real revenue. So it's bullish no matter how you look at it, for both participants and for EMP overall. So it's also a great opportunity to diversify your funds as well. I know a lot of you are already heavily invested in EMP and Spark, and maybe don't want to add more, just because you like to be spread out. Well, this would be another option that, yes, it's still exposure to our ecosystems, but not necessarily having to load up on more tokens. It's a lot safer of a yield, and maybe overall maybe less APR than buying EMP and Spark directly, but again, it's guaranteed, so you have to weigh the risk reward, scenario. So, all right, LA, anything you want to add to that? I know.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, there's a couple things I want to say. So first of all, two things. So first of all, my brain was just ticking as you were speaking there, and I just want to say this. It's really never crossed my mind until now, but so often in life, like, you hear this statement, like, it takes money to make money, and so often in life, it almost feels like there's like a certain group of people who have like this insider access to learn how to make certain amounts of money because they have money. They have certain amounts of money that opens doors to certain opportunities for them. And up until this opportunity, where you opened the door to Brian for us, like you said, we would have needed over $200,000 to get involved with Brian, which I personally don't have. And I would like to say 10% or less of the people at EMP that would have been able to get involved with Brian individually. And so, not that the 60% is this wild and crazy figure, but Brian has this ability to just being in contact with him and having him in our corner is something really special. And I'll have you go into it, but just the opportunities that he has that pretty much no one else has is pretty wild. And to be beginning this relationship with him, and I say beginning, but it's almost a year in, is something pretty special and rare. The other thing I want to say is that we did time this very strategically. We have been planning to introduce something like this for a few months, but one, we timed it strategically because we wanted to have many months of proof that this works, that we could guarantee an APR, that it wasn't just a fluke that he was this good at trading, and that the APRs were going to be as strong as they were, or the returns were going to be as strong as they were. But we wanted to build up many, many months of proof. But aside from that, we did plan this very strategically in when we were going to launch this, because as you heard AJ say earlier on in the AMA, we do expect that in about a year from now will be when the bull market will be really in the height of things for altcoins and that kind of thing. And we want this to be kind of like a savings account for everyone that will open up for them right when it's the best opportunity in the market to have this inflow of cash suddenly available to them to use in whatever way they need to. And if there's one thing I know about human beings, it's that a lot of human beings aren't the best at saving money for things in the future. And so for myself, I was actually on the phone with my mom today. We were talking about the opportunity and I was telling her about it. And she actually convinced me that I should probably put in twice as much as I was originally planning to, because it is like it's a forced savings plan that forces you to save until the height of, well, who knows, we can't predict it, but potentially the height of the bull market. But anyway, so I want AJ to kind of go into the first point I was making and the things that Brian has access to that pretty much nobody else does when it comes to crypto.com and Bybit.
Yeah, no, absolutely, LA. And I'll touch on your second point too, as well, because I think it's super powerful. But yeah, so and Brian, we had him on one of our AMAs last week. The timing of our AMA live is a bit tough because he likes to trade when the Asian markets wake up. And so he's right now, he usually trades later at night. But I definitely will have him on at least one more time before the mint is over. And please join the AMA. We can post links to that. He did a great job explaining all this, in person. But yeah, to Ella's point, we have a lot of things that a lot of other, even institutional accounts, don't have access to. So because Brian is a lot smaller of an entity, again, it's not a 20-person hedge fund, with 10 different traders trading around the clock. There's a lot more flexibility, and his LLC is registered in the British Virgin Islands, which has a lot less, laws and restrictions on institutional trading. And so because of that, Crypto.com and Bybit, which are the two large, the largest crypto leverage trading, businesses, they roll out the red carpet, and so they are able to do a lot more things. Again, not being a U.S. based company, that others don't get access to, and some of those things include negative interest rates. Typically, when you leverage trade, you have to pay an additional fee for having that leverage out, and it accrues every millisecond that you're inside the trade. And sometimes, even if you have a profitable trade, you actually lose money because you have to pay the fees. And so with Crypto.com and Bybit, again, because Brian's an institutional trader and does hundreds of millions of dollars in volume, they incentivize those traders, to be market makers in on their platform. And so with that, he gets either zero fees or again a negative interest rate as well, where he can make money, just by having open trades. So that is the number one major thing. He also is sponsored by a company called CoinRoutes. They're an algorithmic software. Again, not in terms of a trading bot, but it automates the take profit and stop losses. It's a way to automate what you're doing, and again, not in terms of a bot, but Brian still has to put in all the info, and he's still trading live. But this just makes the profit taking a lot more instant, rather than Brian have to actually press a button at the exact right time. So that also really helps. Again, I believe CoinRoutes is open to the public, but he has some higher latency, dedicated servers that they give him to even, execute trades faster. And finally, he's able to front run, all the retail volume. So again, when you have institutional accounts with Bybit and Crypto.com, you have access to the orders before they go to the public. So you again are kind of ahead of the game, and that just goes to show why typically in the real world, all leverage trading ends up being a loss. Like in other words, the house is rigged against you, and that's why it's really difficult to make profitable leverage trades. But when you have all these other perks that you and I don't get access to, then it becomes a lot more favorable. And that's how Brian's been able to, have the results that we've seen. So, does that help, LA? I'm happy to go into more, but I think that covers a lot of what you were asking.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, how almost like this NFT makes you part of like an elite club that like gives you perks that you would never have the opportunity to have access to without $200,000 to invest. And although it's not like some crazy wild APR, it has the way of earning that APR is just in a way that just none of us would be able to do on our own, and is just so beyond special and unique. So
Totally. No, I love it. And I just want to comment really quick on your other point about it being a savings account. Um, and yeah, I think all of us in crypto, we get in this mindset where we have to have the next 1000x, or we have to put our money to work for us every minute of every day. And although I agree with that 100%, I've never been a fan of just having your assets sit in your wallet unless they're earning yield, which is why 99% of our EMP and EMP Fusion and Sparkswap and L1DEX, all those protocols are focused on yield. But to Ella's point, I think that we lose sight of the importance of a savings account. And again, if you're bringing crypto back into fiat, you're not only is that a taxable event, but now you're sitting it in a bank account that is maybe earning 0.1% a year, let alone 1 or 2%. And again, then you have to bring it back into crypto, when you're ready, which again is another fee, another potential taxable event. Uh, um, so this is way more efficient and way more lucrative, and still gives you rest assuredness that your funds are going to disappear and you're able to actually earn on them. So again, I think it's a really important to have a well-rounded approach, and these NFTs would be a great way to allocate, 5, 10% of your overall portfolio, into something that is stable, but still, returns. And that's not financial advice. It's not a call to invest. Obviously, nobody is pushing the buttons for you. So if you don't like the idea of the NFT, that's fine. But again, I think it's a great way to build out, your overall crypto portfolio. And next year, again, a year sounds like a long time, but we all know how fast crypto moves. So, November of next year will be here in no time. And how good is it going to feel to have this, large interest payout coming to you at the end? I mean, it's going to be awesome. So, all right, and on top of that too, we will have a marketplace. So we have a peer-to-peer marketplace. It's already finished and built. We just haven't put it live because we don't want to have the marketplace open until the mint is over. But this will allow you to sell your NFT at any time at current market value. So we have disabled the ability to transfer the NFT, so you have to do it on our own marketplace. And this guarantees that nobody will undercut the value of the bonds because again they are collateralized and they have real value backing them. So we don't want people to just sell them at a potential loss and bring down the overall value. So we are doing it through our marketplace where you don't even have the option to set your price. It's just going to be whatever the market value, current market value is. And then you have to have a buyer on the other side to sell. But I do think it's attractive to other buyers. I know I, for one, maybe 6 months from now, maybe I want to earn 30% in 6 months rather than 60% in a year. I think there will be great demand for those when as it gets closer and closer to the time ending. And again, I mean, you may not want to sell your NFTs. It could be a situation like we see with the power ups that they've been still paying so well that people don't want to sell them. They just want to hold for a year and get all that appreciation for themselves. So, and then last but not least, we will have an emergency withdrawal option that will guarantee that you can withdraw as long as there's funds in that contract. However, you will take a 10% hit on your principal and you will forfeit any of the yield. So it is for emergencies only, and we don't know how much funds at any given time will be in that contract. But it will be an option for those that come into a major issue. But please, again, if you're going to buy them, come into it with the understanding that you're going to hold for a year and reap the rewards at the very end. So, all right, I think that covers all of it. I think we also have a special guest, maybe another special guest. LA, was there anything else you want to add before we bring on one of our OGs? Yeah.
Let's bring him on.
Oh my goodness, am I an OG?
Yes, you are. In more ways than one, old man
You're
crypto.
the OG
Yeah,
OMC.
the OG. The OC OG. Or OMC OG. Yeah. Oh man. Yes. How are you, old man crypto?
I'm doing great. I'm going to keep this fast because we're over an hour and a half into this, and I know that Vino is sitting out there with his nips getting hard, waiting to hear the alpha for
Yes,
fusion.
100%.
So I'll keep this real short. I was I was one of the original back in April or May to go into TradeYield based on AJ's call, and I just want to say anyone out there who's thinking about it, instead of taking time and telling you about everything, contact me, DM me, Old Man Crypto, and I'd be glad to go through everything. I do have to say that I was a little nervous about it when AJ first threw it out. Since then, I've upped my investment several times, just because I think that Brian has done an amazing job. I doubt that he'll be as I doubt that he'll have the time for transparency with a whole lot of people in it, but I'm sure that there will be some. But some of the numbers that were thrown out during these first couple of months were incredible, such as a 93% success rate in his trades. Amazing. The other quick thing I wanted to talk, I've listened to a lot of AMAs lately. I don't think you can underestimate the fact that AJ Brockman is guaranteeing your return. Now, what does that mean? As AJ has said, there are circumstances where, if crypto falls apart, where obviously that's not going to happen. But for me, and I think for most of the guys out here, if you believe in AJ, then you're getting 60% return on your money in a year, 5% a month. It's just incredible, and everyone has different needs. As an old man and someone living on, I'm not working anymore. My needs are different than some of you young guys out there who may not need as much money up front. So everyone is different, but stop and think about what 60% a year is guaranteed. AJ may want to talk about what guaranteed means, but to me, it's pretty ironclad guarantee at this point. It's just a great return, and I've just been thrilled with it. And again, any questions, shoot me a DM. I'll be glad to go over them with you. I know there was one more thing that I just jotted down, just as a means of comparison. And I love these guys from GOAT that you had on, AJ. And I made some notes, and if I'm misquoting them, let me know. But and it's certainly not meant to put anything they said down, because it sounds very interesting. But for sure. In one of they were talking about this goat feeder, which pays 0.5% a day. So I think the way they put it is for the first 200 days you ROI, and then I guess for the last 160 days you make 0.5% a day. So in my head, to me, it sounds like 180%. Is that correct, AJ?
Yeah, so there's a lot of other existential factors. If you didn't compound at all, then yeah, I mean, after you would essentially have to leave it in there for a year to realize that gain, because the minute that you claim, just like a bank account, it actually reduces your principal based on what you're claiming. So you're either the strategy is either compound, like crazy, and in order to compound, you have to put even more capital in, or you just literally let it sit there for a year and accumulate rewards. But yeah, the math I think is right, old man, for sure.
My only point here before I end is that you're getting 60% here, practically guaranteed. I don't think those guys from that protocol are going to guarantee that you're going to get even if you leave the money in for a year, that you're going to get 80. So it's a matter of comfort. For me, it was a matter of comfort. I took some of my money that was sitting in the bank in the real world, as opposed to crypto world, and just use that. And that's it. Again, any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Awesome. Awesome, Old Man Crypto. Thank you, brother. And yeah, I mean, we definitely, like Old Man Crypto said, Adrian Brockman, is guaranteeing it. Obviously, we wouldn't put that out there unless we were 100% confident, and we have the reserves to make good on it. And even if we don't raise the 500K, again, that cap, we have a hard cap of 500K because we don't want to raise more than what we know we can pay in terms of liability. But even if we don't get to that hard cap, we have plenty of funds to be able to make good. And it is a fixed interest loan. Again, we have collateral that backs that up. But you still have to believe that EMP will make good on that loan getting into it. And so again, I appreciate you, Old Man Crypto, one of our OGs in everything that we do. And yeah, he was again involved in this private group that we started with. Brian was extremely transparent and forthcoming with all the info. And like Old Man Crypto said, moving to the NFT model, that was another reason that we went this way, is because Brian has to focus on trading. And when you have to update every single person individually based on what their account holds, obviously he can upgrade or update people with trade journals to see the trades. That applies, to everybody overall. But to do it on an individual basis, it just becomes way less efficient. And that's why these NFTs are so powerful. And honestly, it's what NFTs were made to do. I think everybody thinks NFTs are just, pictures of zombie apes or pretty pictures. But that is not what an NFT is. An NFT is a way to, again, verify ownership of a contract or yield. Again, concert tickets, authentication with purses or Rolexes or any kind of counterfeit merchandise. NFTs are the future in terms of verifying ownership and verifying that those are immutable and truly are what they say they are. And so we apply the same concept to these NFTs, and it makes it much easier from an accounting perspective because you buy an NFT and you redeem that NFT at the end of a year for the $400, and we are able to feed the redemption contract at the end of that year, and everybody will be made good. So that's the goal, and we're well on our way already. Again, thank you all that have already contributed. And if you're on the fence, please continue to do some research, ask questions in our socials, and you only have a few more days. I know a lot of you were waiting until the very end too to maximize the time that you had with your funds. But there may be a situation that everybody was doing that, and then in the few final hours, there are no more NFTs left. So just don't get caught not being able to buy them either. So all right, LA, I think that was it. Before we get to the Ultra Mega Alpha, an hour and 45 minutes in, thank you all for being here. But was there anything else you want me to go over before we get into the last part?
No, I think that's good.
All right, so for all of you that have stayed until the very end, we've been teasing this for a long time now, but they just went public with this announcement, and now we are as well. As of today, Spritz, again, all of you remember our amazing relationship with Spritz and how bullish we are on Spritz. Spritz has officially announced they are now an on-ramp service. So this is really super bullish. Again, especially going into the next bull run. On-ramping is the ability to add fiat into crypto, and typically, you have to have an account with Binance, but Binance closed all their accounts, especially for US based people, or you have to have a crypto.com account, or you have to have a Coinbase account to get fiat into crypto. Well, now Spritz is competing directly with that, and we all know how bullish Spritz is as a company where a lot of their business dealings are not reportable either, which is super bullish. And on ramping is a very touchy subject. We've been looking high and low for an on ramp partner because is a lot more red tape. But as long as us as a protocol are not offering the on ramp service and it's going through a registered entity like Spritz, we are able to implement that. So if this wasn't amazing enough, you can now use them to on and off ramp your crypto, pay your bills directly with your crypto, and even use their debit card online with your wallet or phone. And this plays into Fusion. So what will happen is we will also have both an on ramp and an off ramp option of Fusion directly built into Fusion. We're working with the Spritz team directly, utilizing their API and all their pre-built software to make it as seamless as possible. So just imagine the adoption that we will experience when somebody completely new to crypto, or even somebody that is familiar with crypto but doesn't have a lot of dry powder, they can literally buy their position in EMP Fusion or buy batteries with the on ramp service, earn in EMP Fusion, and then off ramp again with a Spritz battery or any other sort of profit taking mechanism directly into their bank account. So I could not be more excited about this. It's something we've been working on with Spritz for months. And now Spritz is even available in over a dozen different countries around the world, with plans to continue adding more. So it should be accessible to everybody by the time we're ready for Fusion. And, this is another silver lining of why we've been delayed with Fusion, to be able to implement all of these things as close to launch as possible. So, and if all that wasn't bullish enough, we also will be getting the affiliate commission on the off ramp and on ramping of all these assets. So we're essentially double dipping, where all that those affiliate rewards go right back into Fusion as a revenue stream. So again, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. LA, I could not be more happy about all this. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes, get your engines revved up and ready to go. I'm going to
I
read
love
you
it.
guys the email, well, just a little blurb from the email so that you know some of the more intricate details. The Spritz on-ramp is your personal gateway between traditional fiat, currency, and crypto. Use the on-ramp as your easy entry point to purchasing crypto without an exchange for the first time, or use it to top up your wallet if you're an active crypto user already. We designed this feature to be so easy that anyone can use it, and we can't wait to see what you do with it. The Spritz on-ramp is now available for users in 46 states. AJ, you're out of luck temporarily. It turns out that those of you in Florida, New York, Louisiana, and Alaska, we're working on bringing you the on-ramp soon, but it's not available yet
All
in your
right.
state.
Good to
Right
know.
now, you can use the on-ramp to purchase USDC on Ethereum, Polygon, and Avalanche networks in seconds. And although it is only available in the US to begin with, they seem to start their new features in the US and expand outwards. And Spritz is now available in over a dozen countries. And I did notice that when they did expand into Canada, at first it was just off-ramping. And now they've expanded to quite a lot of other features as well, like the debit card and the bill payments and stuff are available now in Canada as well. So just pay attention, make sure you sign up, and pay attention to when the new features roll out in your country as well. If you're in Australia, if you are in UK, if you're in other parts of Europe, you already have the debit card available to you, and other features on the way as well. So we have the EMP affiliate code that I'm going to be posting into the chat right now. Make sure you guys get signed up.
Amazing. Yes. So again, super duper bullish. It's an announcement we've been wanting to share for a long time. We're in direct communication with Chris, the CEO of Spritz. We have an amazing relationship with them. We're a top 10 referrer in all of crypto for Spritz, and they have gone above and beyond for us. And so, please do me a personal favor. Again, no obligation whatsoever in terms of moving money, but please just go and sign up for a Spritz account using our affiliate link. Again, LA posted that affiliates.spritz.finance and then our EMP.Money 37. Please make sure that you are at least signed up, and there is a very light KYC. Again, it's a name and an address, I think is it. And in terms of reporting, they are one of the most lenient institutions that we have ever worked with. So, and if you're using their debit card where you're able to pay your bills without ever even having to withdraw to a bank account, it's a lot more friendly in terms of, potential taxable events and everything like that. I'm not an accountant, again, not financial advice. But out of everybody, I know, and LA can attest to this, as crypto veterans, there is absolutely no better protocol to off ramp and now on ramp than Spritz. So that is, you can take my word on that for sure. So, all right, awesome. Then yeah, that is the mega ultra super duper alpha for the end of the AMA for all of you that stayed. Again, a really long one today, but this is probably one of the most bullish AMAs we've had in a long time. A ton of incredible info coming to all of you, and I hope that it's worth it, for you to take the time out of your day to listen to our longer AMAs. But yeah, LA, anything else? Oh wait, I know we gotta get some questions. I don't see a ton, but we can maybe take a
Yes.
few. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to wrap it up here, but
I have
not yet.
one that I promised Evan we were going to get to today in the Sparkswap group, and I see he did put it here in the chat, so I will ask it to you. He'd like to know about the arbitrage bots, and he had an idea for having them, instead of having them directly fund the Sparkler participants with the LP rewards. He would like to know if you would consider having them instead purchase Spark and deposit into Sparkler and then earn rewards, which then go to the Sparkler stakers.
Yeah, so the money has to come from somewhere. So if we're just buying Spark with the rewards, we cannot reward Spark LP out. So and again, if we put Spark into Sparkler, it would just dilute everybody else's share that's already in it without any additional, economic benefit to everybody. So it's a good idea in theory, but it would not be beneficial, because the money has to come from somewhere. And again, adding more Spark would be, or buying more Spark is good for the token price, but then putting it in a Sparkler would dilute everybody else. So again, I love the feedback. I think that's a great way of thinking outside the box. So shout out to, I believe you said, was it Eric or Evan? Evan, right? Yeah. So shout out to Evan. Yeah, that was a great idea, but it doesn't really work like that. So, but again, I mean, moving forward, when Spark is no longer inflationary, we could definitely do a variation of where we're sending funds to have the maximum impact on not only the Spark price, but then also be able to yield or send, again, imagine something like this where we take half of the arbitrage bot and use that to feed the rewards of EMP ETH, the EMP ETH farm. Again, the arbitrage, whatever arbitrage bot is running on that particular pair, once we're no longer inflationary, we could take half of the arbitrage bot rewards and and apply that as rewards to that farm. So with your idea, again, we would buy Spark off the market and then reward that Spark directly to the farm. And that is the way that we get away from inflation and apply super bullish APR in a non-inflationary manner. Again, that's some major alpha in how we're gonna eventually do things, or a variation of how we're gonna eventually do things. But again, the takeaway from that is that no matter how you look at it, as long as we're generating yield, it's going to be applied in a very beneficial way.
Cool. And while we're on that note, there was another suggestion in the AMA questions on Discord about switching Sparkler to reward in Spark Goat LP instead of Spark PLS LP. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you know what? Again, I love the outside of the box thinking. I do again because because Goat is essentially PLS in a ever increasing form. In theory, it sounds really good. And we may, who knows? Maybe we have a separate contract that may do that. But we also have to balance the what's the right word? The mainstream view on things as well. So in other words, when Pulse blows up and everybody gets involved, I think it's a lot more attractive for people to earn Spark PLS than Spark Goat. Even though Goat is much more economically attractive, a lot of people are gonna go, what the fuck is Goat token? Like they don't understand. So I think having it be paired to PLS directly is still, a much better look for us. But yeah, I mean, we again, the, I think you guys probably heard it in the way that we were speaking to the team earlier on the AMA. But we're in a private group with the development team of Goat, and we have about 3 or 4 different things that we didn't even get to today because we're so early. But there are a ton of potential use cases that we can add with Goat that not only benefit Goat but also greatly benefit our ecosystem as well. So, again, I'll let you guys speculate on what that might be. But there's a ton of different contracts that we can potentially implement that has that same sort of benefit for both protocols moving forward. But yeah, again, I love that these are the kind of questions I love because it's actually adding value to the conversation, not when fusion. So shout out to both those today. Those were great, LA. Yeah.
Awesome. And then the last one goes from our lovely Connie. Will Spritz allow on-ramping into L1X and L1DEX?
Oh, right on. Yeah. So again, I hope the answer is I hope. I think that yes, we have definitely made an intro. I don't know. Again, I can't speak for L1X directly. I know in terms of L1DEX, obviously we have the same access that we would with Fusion. That we would definitely be able to implement that on the DEX itself. So I can say yes for that for sure. And again, I wouldn't want to answer for L1X directly. But again, I think the off or on ramping was the last missing piece for Spritz, and now I think Spritz will gain some major market share. They've already been killing it with just the off ramp. But obviously, in order to be a big player, you have to have both. And now that they have both, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more about Spritz over the next few, months to a year from now. So yeah, that's another great question, Connie. And LA, I see another question. I thought it was hilarious while I'm reading this. Somebody says that my picture is outdated. In 2 years, I've never seen AJ with that mustache. So yeah, I love this point. That's what two kids will do to you. So yeah, I'll have to update my profile pictures and my headshots.
I keep
But yeah.
telling him I gotta come to Florida and take some B-roll and photos and stuff for him that I can use for all my marketing stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, again, we'll do that. I'm a lot more gray, for sure, but I still do the mustache. So, on special occasions, again, we dropped some breadcrumbs earlier in the AMA. So maybe on a upcoming special occasion, I'll actually do up the mustache, like it is in my picture on the bond. So, all right, and then I do see MAA brother. Listen, man, I know I told you I would get with you today, but we've gone at 2 hours now. So if you don't mind, and I know you probably stayed up late, so my apologies, brother, but I think we need to push it till Monday. MAA had some great questions about how the LP works under under our own, decks, becoming our own decks. And I want to give you a lot of time, brother, because I think it's super bullish to talk about it. But I just don't think today is the best for that. So my apologies, man. LA, is there any other last minute questions or before we wrap it up? Yeah.
No, I think 2 hours and 3 minutes in, I think we're ready to wrap.
All right, awesome. And
Thank you
yeah.
guys for joining us. It's been a really good one. Today has felt all the good vibes, and really happy to have you all with us as usual. And really excited for everything we're building together.
Yeah, could not agree more, LA. Again, thank you for all you do as well, LA. Again, we've been doing the AMA train. I could not do it without LA and the support of the rest of the team. Again, developers have been killing it. Not only, our lead developer, Jake, but as well as, the other two dev teams that we're working with. Again, the idea is after the bridge, we get back to Fusion. We're already implementing that even now. So tons of great things coming. And yeah, if you can't get excited about EMP, then I don't think you should be in crypto and the EMP mothership of everything that we're doing. Again, I could not be more excited, and that's what we live for. LA and I, again, but this is what we are passionate about, and it's going to be an incredible year next year as we have all of these things in place. So. All right, thank you all for being here. 2 hours in. Again, appreciate all your time. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as sharing, our AMAs with others that want to know more about the ecosystem. If you did have any questions we didn't get to, again, MAA, my sincere apologies, brother. We will have you on and give you all the time you need on Monday. And if you have other questions, please come on and ask them in our live chat, or we have a dedicated channel on Discord where you can ask specific questions in there as well. Remember, that's not an area to soft FUD or criticize. We love constructive criticism. So if you do have some criticism, make sure that you have something that is a potential solution. But today we had some incredible questions, and I love those that try to think outside the box and really help our ecosystem moving forward. So again, much love to all of you. So on that note, again, thank you all, and we'll wrap it up for today. Good night, good day. We will see you on Monday. Again, 6:45 p.m. Eastern, Mondays and Thursdays. Good night, everybody.